Welcome back to Broadscope Gaming. I'm Tango McChacha, and we are playing Resident Evil 6. So, there's a bit of history behind this game. Let me first start by saying, you notice it's very webby and slightly spider-like? Yeah, this game is freaking in love with the idea of freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulation themes. So, there's, spider webs. This isn't so much manipulation theme, but the monetary quote-unquote pickups are chess pieces. So now, let me go ahead and give a real quick review. This is the first episode of Resident Evil 6, and I feel that some background is necessary. So Resident Evil 6 is kind of the most divisive of the Resident Evil games. 5 definitely had its fair share of divisiveness, as did 4, but less so than even 5. And then 5 had less than 6. So basically, this game is really action-y. Like, even the horror and suspense one that's supposed to be going back to the original Resident Evil theme. You'll see. It's going to be the first campaign I cover. But there's a lot of extra stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and go over all this first, as well as give a few of my opinions. So, for anyone who wonders what my opinion is, just general, I will call it my favorite disappointment. I originally played it, I had heard it had a bad rap, but it was a 2-player game that could be done locally, so I got it so we could play with a friend. That was all fun and good. And we played it, and yeah, I wasn't exactly floored. So one thing I will mention, you see this extra content? You can get skill points, which are the currency I mentioned from these. I play a lot of mercenaries in my free time, and honestly, I feel this game has one of the prettiest mercenary modes there is. Maybe not the most satisfying or technical, but boy is it pretty murdering mobs. So the campaign mode has 3 not chapters. It has 4 campaigns. Originally 3 were unlocked originally, and then a 4th one was unlocked after you complete the 3 to help answer any questions about what's going on in the background. In the new version, they are all unlocked from the beginning, and they all they can all be played at your leisure. Ignore the continue, I'm going to be starting from the very beginning. I was just testing something. Anyway, so before I go in, I should go into skill settings. Because I play mercenaries, I got some spare cash for skills, and so this is what I always get. Just so you know, in case you're ever curious about something you see. So the skills available to me is Breakout, which makes it easier to get out of enemy grapples. Item drop increase, which means killing enemies has a higher chance to yield a drop. And Field Medic. This is, as the thing says, single player. Now, you have a dying mode much like Resident Evil 5, and your partner can help you out from it. For reasons I will explain once we get into the game, your partner wouldn't naturally be expected to be able to help you out of that. With Field Medic on, if you're playing single player, your partner will always be able to give you a bar of health back if you fall and they rescue you. Normally they would resuscitate you at what I basically call 0 HP mode, and the next hit will kill you. With the health bar, the next hit will simply knock you down again, and if your partner is nearby, you can get revived the exact same way. So, and they will just keep giving you a bar. It's a pretty good safety net, especially for what I'm doing. I should mention there was a prelude It was just a part of the game from later inside Leon's campaign. I will point it out when we get to it, giving us a tutorial. I'm probably going to be explaining things, so... Anyway, let's get into this. Hold on. Yeah, there are checkpoints here. I didn't even get to the last one. So, these chapters are long, and they don't have the usual breaks in between. I will explain why soon. Anyway, we are doing this in normal mode, and then single. I could indeed do split screen. Once again, that's why I originally got the game, but nah, I'm just doing it normal. So, who you pick actually has an effect on the game. More accurately, each character has their own starting weapon. Helena has the Hydra sawn-off shotgun, which is the Resident Evil variation of the double barrel. Leon has a knife he can use for melee, and a pistol which he can double up, which is basically extending the ammo. So, I'm going to go ahead and choose Leon for this. Now, here are these. One moment, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Alright, so basically this lets us select what's going on. We have network selection, which I believe is for the computer port which this is based off of. So I can be online or offline. I'm going to go ahead and do it on online in case that provides any entertainment. We have partner join, which is allow someone to come in and take the role of Helena. In this case, had I chose Helena, they'd take over Leon's roles. So it's either private, you can only invite people, don't allow, nobody can join you, or allow. Which means anybody who searches for players will be able to see me. Putting it on don't allow because I don't want anyone to become an impromptu star on my channel. I suppose I should mention that I say that to mean I don't want anyone to show up in an online video where they do not want to. Regions, you can either only let people who are in your same region, in my case the US of A, or you can let anyone join. Home region would just be for a better chance of that connectivity, but I'm leaving it at all since nobody's going to join me. Objective settings. This basically would show up when you invite people or when someone looks up your game if you do general allow. So you could say, I'm playing these chapters to look for the emblems. Or I'm playing this for the story, which means I'm just want to go through there and hear all what there is to hear. I'm playing it for the medals, which is the score, basically. Serious players only, which means don't screw around, don't run around looking at items, don't shoot random objects. Or playing for fun, which means, hey, story, no story, I'm good. Friendly fire allows you to hit your teammate. Infinite ammo. It's a skill after you complete the game that you can get infinite ammo. An agent hunt, which allows random people to join in as a zombie. So instead of being controlled by AI, they'd be controlled by a player. I won't do it because I don't want their name flashing on the screen. I respect the privacy of other people who might not know what they're getting into. Sorry. Alright, so just going through all that for someone. The beginning is kind of slow, so don't expect any real meat in the campaign yet. Especially since this is the suspenseful, quote-unquote, campaign.
Bioorganic weapons are a global threat. Start working with the rest of the world. We have to come to believe.
Oh yeah, prepare to see Raccoon City a lot. You could legitimately make a drinking game.
I've always valued your friendship, Leon.
Stay right where you are.
So real quick bio, Leon is returning from game number 2's and games number 2 and 4. In the game number 2, he was a rookie cop, first day on the job when the Raccoon City incident occurred. So he was caught in the middle of it. Take a shot. For Raccoon City, by the way. Helena Harper, our partner who was getting stumbled towards by the now zombified president, is completely new to this game, so we'll see her story more. Long story short, Leon got lucky and survived the Raccoon City incident.
It's all my fault.
And later in 4 was part of the Secret Service and got called in to take on to rescue the president's daughter. I forget if he's the same president who was the father of Ashley from 4 or if he's a different person.
I'll explain everything there, Agent Kennedy.
I think time-wise he'd have to be. Because the whole 8-term thing.
Hunnigan.
Thank God you're both all right.
Anyway, Hunnigan was from 4. She was your contact who basically gave you your general mission and tips. She got cut off about halfway through the game because they realized that someone was communicating with him.
I just shot the president.
But yeah, she's still a nice
been
character.
infected by the time we found him. Leon did what he had to.
Anyway, so yeah,
Saved my life.
I don't think I ever completed the warning before, but I am not going to go easy on this game. It is the playable equivalent of a B-movie.
Right. I'll submit the report. You two just focus on getting the hell out of there. The virus has already spread 3 miles past the campus perimeter, and it's not slowing down. You need to hurry.
Not before we check out Tall Oaks Cathedral. Agent Kennedy's got a lead that might tell us who's responsible for this.
Leon, is that true?
Yeah. I think I might have something.
Roger that. I'll map out the safest access route. Keep your radio on.
I got a lead.
You will if you come with me.
Yeah, blame game just got played. Alright. So,
Adam.
yeah, this game is basically a playable B-movie, and I'm not going... The story is basically a playable B-movie,
what's so special about
and
this
I am not
church?
going to give it
You have some
any
sins to confess?
mercy.
It's hard to explain. If I don't tell you at the cathedral, you may not believe me.
One more second. Sorry about this.
You're gonna tell me everything once we get to the cathedral. Deal?
Deal.
So yeah, starting with the theme of manipulations.
Here too.
You got
This is getting out of
suspicious
control.
quote-unquote Helena, and then Leon. Once again, we know who Leon is. And he's pretty straightforward.
The power's out.
And then Helena's story is going to be revealed throughout the game. Leon doesn't have any dark secret, he's just been working the scene for a while. Now once again, he starred in 4, which was considered one of the most popular of the Resident Evil games, and definitely considered one of the best action-y,
Got it.
quote-unquote, Resident Evil games. Before, they were all very similar. Overhead
This is where the
views,
reception was
tank
gonna be.
controls,
They'd all be here eating dinner right now if...
very limited
Think
weapons and
anyone's
ammo.
survived?
I hope so.
All that good stuff.
I can't believe this is happening again. It's just
At
like
4,
Raccoon.
there was still limited ammo, but more was provided, and
Yeah.
combating
I'll
all
never
the
forget
enemies
it.
you come across was the
We're going to
expected,
this
not the
cathedral of yours. But
exception.
if you really did have a hand in this, you can kiss your freedom goodbye.
I know. What was that?
person,
Only
Helena.
one way
It
to
was a
find out.
person.
Let's go.
Oh shoot, it kept it from my test. Alright, I should explain the bar real quick. So in the lower right, you'll notice a little display. The display changes on based on the person. Incidentally, what phone they are using. So Leon and Helena both have the clear glass phone, so that's the display they get. So the big blocks with the arrows over them is your health. As you can see, it comes in bars like Kill Zone. I forget if Gears of War did that too. I definitely remember it being a thing in Kill Zone. Or was that Resistance? Either way. Under that is a combat bar. It's basically, I can't do any maneuvers right now, but it's for combat maneuvers and certain acrobatic moves. I call it stamina. I think the game insists on calling it the combat gauge.
In the back.
And under that is the bullet count. I can't shoot right now, but yeah. Next to it is your total ammo count. Above the total ammo count is your green herb count. Those are basically how you store blocks of health. Combining green herbs will make it so that you get a pill. A green herb tablet. And then finally under that is the weapon option. It only appears for certain ones, like Leon wielding his pistol. This is what I mean by it basically acting as an extension of your ammo bar. Wielding two pistols at the same time does not give him any tangible benefits. Oh, and then there's this guy. Feel free to shoot him in the head, Leon. Or maybe Helena.
What?
The fog. It came out of nowhere. Liz! Wait, let me go! It's too dangerous.
Now, we could call him an idiot, but in dangerous situations, people will often do something stupid out of panic, so.
I get it. But if you don't keep it down, you won't live to save her. You understand?
So, admittedly, that is kind of realistic.
Liz.
Is that your daughter? All right, let's find her.
Leon, we don't have time to...
We're making the time.
Liz, where are you?
Here it is, Leon's combat knife. Oh, and I can shoot. So the combat knife is basically a fireable melee weapon, whereas normally that's your melee. Also, you'll notice that used up the combat bar.
They're scared.
So yeah, melee, and then if I could run, I could show you the one maneuver that would always use up some stamina. Anyway. Screw your seriousness, I'm popping balloons. I suppose I should mention, I don't use it much, but circle is your partner
That's
tracker.
quite a draft.
That tracker.
We need to
And the
find
buttons at the bottom are just basic communication.
We will. Just stay close. Thank you.
So you can issue basic commands to your partner, but I don't usually. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. One thing these games improved over 5, which, surprisingly enough, there are a couple. is your partner. Your
Please
partner is
answer.
completely
It's your daddy,
independent
Liz.
of you. Like ammo, health, combat gauge. The computer partner will not have any of your restrictions. So, part of the reason I have so much ammo for my pistols is because your partner does
You
not
alright?
eat up any
I will be
ammo.
once I find my daughter.
They can fire as much as they want, but they won't
I called her
actually
Silver, but we got
run
cut
out
off.
of it at
I know
any
she's
time.
here somewhere. We'll need to get the elevator working again. It's locked, but I work here. I've got the keys. Once we're in, we can take my car. Thanks. Now let's find Liz and get the hell out of here. Liz? Liz, is that you?
Yay, it's trying to be scary and slow-paced. No, seriously, if you'd seen anything of the later parts of the game at all, you'd realize that this, like, even compared to the opening of the other campaigns, this really stands out. I'll shank you, Lightning. I'll shank you. Took away my running, Lightning. I'll shank you. Nope, still can't do it.
Careful.
Yes, let's go to the bloody door. At the very least, he understood to let the two armed people go in first. By the way, it's aiming for me. I did not press a single button to get him to raise his knife. Okay, now that they're both together and you've identified the threat, shoot them both in the head.
Where are Mom and Liam?
They already got out. They're waiting for us at home.
Like what you see, Helena?
How do we get out of this place? The underground parking lot. The elevator is up ahead. Hopefully it still works.
Weren't you just there, you morons? You had the memory of a goldfish. Also, do they really make windows that large? I'm legitimately curious.
Let's get this out of our way.
Roger.
Yeah, let's help the obviously infected people. And we're even going in an elevator and
Guys, we're
with
here.
them. Yep. They know what they're doing. They know what they're setting up. Also, another thing I should mention while we're at this lower part, another difference from the character you select is what role they take in the maps. Put simply,
You're going to be okay.
I'll call them the alpha male. Will always be able to
We're almost
fling
there.
their partner. So Leon, would someone really die like that? Anyway, so Leon can fling Helena. In the other campaigns, Chris can fling his partner Piers, and Jake will be able to fling Sherry. Yes. By the way, that's happening.
The power.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
She's already gone! Shoot her!
Yep. By the way, I think that was a good example of what Breakout did.
Can't believe
Did you see
this.
how slow the bar was
We'll
moving?
get used to it.
They clearly
It's either
expected
them
you
or
to
us,
be grappled
and
for
they
a
don't
longer
hesitate.
period of time before
Why'd
that.
this have to happen?
But the fact that you can play other campaigns before this one is
I don't think we're
clearly a
alone
good
here.
indicator they understood that might not be the case.
Lena, grab your gun. Shit! Don't let him in!
By the way, melee! Yeah, take that, you corpses. Alright. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I do hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.